So far, I'm extremely happy with how this project, this castle build is going. But sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to take a step back. Sorry, I might be getting ahead of myself and some of you. If you are new here, let's take a look at what's been going on. I am 3D printing the bricks to build a castle based on this Lego set design. Every brick is getting printed mostly in different pieces. Those pieces are put together into bricks, and those bricks are being assembled into a castle. So in the last video, I finally got to a point where I have parts of the build, parts of the castle walls that are going up higher than my head. I can't see over them. I can barely reach the top of them. That's a fun milestone to be at because it's like bigger than me visually. You know, it's always been more space, but it's so fun to see. However, I've come up against an issue that I know if I don't correct it, I'm gonna be sad about it when everything is finished. There are a number of places throughout the set that have platforms where the little, well, not so little Lego characters can stand and be posed, but we're now dealing with a larger scale. It's not just the Lego figures that might be up on the platforms eventually. While I, as the builder, may know better than to stand on any one part of the castle that isn't strong enough to support the weight of an adult human, I am not going to be the only person who ever interacts with this castle. The truth is, I'm not even going to be the owner of this castle forever. Once I'm finished with it, I'm not planning to keep it anymore. I've actually already had a few people reach out to me about buying it once it's complete. And that's probably the plan I'm leaning toward. I will likely sell the entire set either as loose pieces or assembled somewhere else once it's all completed. And I figure there is an almost 100% chance that after that happens, and even possibly before, there's going to be someone, probably a child, maybe an adult, who wants to climb on more of this than you're actually supposed to climb on. But right now, this platform is not something that I actually trust my weight to. So as I've explained and shown previously, all of the printing of everything has really been focused on how can I print it quickly and how can I print it using the least amount of filament. The more filament I use, the longer it takes, the more I have to get from Prusa, and it's just better overall for the project if I can do it lightweight. Thin walls, very low infill. As long as it can hold itself together, that really fulfills the main goal of the build. But that does not make anything strong. Here's a test I did of just a 1x6 plate without having to span much of a gap. When I stood on it cracked apart. And that wasn't that the locking mechanism failed or anything like that. It's just the shape of the dovetails and the walls themselves failed catastrophically. And it didn't take much for that to happen. So if I'm going to have any platforms that are going to be strong enough to hold a person, well, I need to do some changes to my design. I can't use the empty space in the middle. I can't use the two walls. I can't use the very sparse, weak infill that I've been using that has been working great for being fast and light, but it's not going to be good for being strong. So much as it pains me to do it, there are a couple things I have planned for this video. First is figure out a new and improved method for printing the parts so they're strong enough to not break apart when they've got weight on them. The second, is the part I'm really not looking forward to, is I have to start taking pieces off of the set and then replacing some of the big panels before putting back the parts that I took off. And finally, I am planning to do a little bit more new build on top of my replacements, and that's going to hopefully get these towers a little bit more finished, including their own platforms up on top, which maybe we test out how strong they are by standing on them. Now, big builds aren't the only thing that sometimes require going backwards to make progress. I think it happens in all big growth experiences we go through. And something I think takes a lot of people a few tries and some going backwards at times is learning a new language. Learning another language can be a major building block of your life, and that can be done using the sponsor of today's video, Mondly. They're offering a massive summer sale deal of 65% off for lifetime access to all of their languages just by using my link down in the description. Language learning is such a benefit in life, and Mondly is one of the best ways to learn, as you can see from their highly rated app that has over 125 million downloads. If you like learning languages, or if you've just always wanted to learn a new one, Mondly has over 41 languages you can learn, and that's on top of 33 languages available as the native starting language. So like, it's not just English speaker can learn French. You could start as a Spanish speaker that wants to learn German or English or Italian or Chinese or a bunch of things. Mondly has made new languages accessible and easy to learn no matter where you are in the world. And they tackle language learning in a better way. It's more than just just flashcards. They have an interactive chatbot that has speech recognition, so it can actually like listen to you and let you know if you're getting it right and give you real-time feedback. They have daily lessons, but they've also got like weekly and monthly challenge quizzes so you can see how you're progressing. It can all be done hands-free as well, so whether you're out shopping or working out, you can still be learning a new language while just going about your day. And again, all of this is available right now at a huge discount of 65% off for lifetime access. This fantastic summer sale is currently available using my link down in the description or at mondly.app/NFTI. Go jump on this sale right now while it lasts. Now, I am not an expert in making 3D prints stronger. I'm sure I could come up with some stuff to make improvements, but there are people out there who already have a lot more experience with it than me.
Okay,
How is the weather in Germany?
It's so horrible.
For anyone who is unaware, Stefan has done just wild amounts of testing of different methods of printing to get different kinds of strength. So that's why I'm bringing him in as the expert. I have been focusing primarily on making them lightweight and quick to print. As you are very aware, that is not a recipe for the highest strength parts.
I mean, but you still need like a good mix between number of perimeters, so wall thickness, and still how much material you put on the inside.
Yeah, the problem comes when I start trying to bridge areas and I don't need a compressive strength, I need, I don't know, you tell me, what is that called, the bridging strength?
If you bend something, the lower part of that beam will be in tension and the upper part will be in compression.
This is my test piece that I tried to make. 4 walls of thickness, and instead of a 5% infill, it's got a 15% infill. And then you can also see that I've got these little holes going along the side. And my original thought was that I could use fiberglass rebar running through all of this. And it is better. The rebar didn't help as much as I thought it would. So I'd love your thoughts on where I can go from here.
I think there might be other solutions just by clever design and also setting up your printing parameters properly.
If I can do it so it's all still just 3D printed material, that's even better.
The first idea that I have, adding additional connectors on the lower side to prevent the dovetail from splitting apart. I think you said they look like, how do you call them?
Bow tie or butterfly.
Ties, yeah.
Like in
so
woodworking.
Like
yeah, I think they call them yeah, that's kind of what you're talking about, like an hourglass figure-ish type of shape.
Exactly.
Okay.
One of the most simple things to make these dovetails stronger is simply gluing the parts together. The third solution to the problem is different printing parameters or different slicing parameters. First, increase the number of parameters. Also, by increasing your top layers and your bottom layers, you add material where it's really necessary, and adding material also means that you're adding stiffness, able to support big surfaces in the end, but it's not really a structural infill. So again, your primary stresses are along that beam axis.
So make the infill print lines parallel to, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll hop back into Fusion and start making some changes, but then the rest of the changes will be in the slicer, make sure the tops and bottoms are strong enough. Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me and share your knowledge. Anyone who's not aware of the channel CNC Kitchen, Stefan runs that and he does an amazing job. This guy's a master. Check him out.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Take care. So, following Stefan's advice, here is a new 1x6 plate, and this is a much different design. Check it out. Instead of having the thin wall with the circle to give it a grip point, which was nice and light and kind of matched the visual look of original Lego pieces a little more, I've gone ahead and taken the thick wall that goes around the border and I've run that through the middle as well. Then I've added these bow tie connector spots, and when it's a full plate going other directions, they will also go that direction. I've made the infill way stronger, so instead of 5%, it's 15. I've made the infill be a grid, and that's running this direction and this direction, so it is parallel to the direction of the stress rather than at some or several weird angles. And all of that should do a really good job of helping reinforce it. I've also increased the wall count, and the bow ties themselves are also quite strong with a thick wall count, so they shouldn't stretch or pull or deform too much. Old. New. And I think that this is going to do a much better job holding me up than test number 1. It feels pretty sturdy. Now it is bending a little bit. There's some curvature to it, but there was no cracking when I got on it. There's no snapping sounds like there was with the other piece. Even giving it a little bit of bounce, it's really holding up quite well. And I've looked over the whole set, and nowhere on the set is there a span of more than 4 parts. I don't know what to call this spacing, but like 4 bumps, I guess, across. So where I have it now, where I have 4 across between its 2 support points, that's as far as it really needs to hold up, and it's holding up to that pretty well. Yeah, stronger parts. Oh yeah, it's also glued. I didn't mention that. Adding to the structural integrity, it's glued together. Well, it is certainly more sturdy than the last one I built. Oh yeah, that's got some heft to it. The glue, I do want to let that take some time to set all the way before I do any tests of it, but I think it's gonna work out pretty nice. And now I have to make another one. So having the new floors is one thing, but to be able to put them down, I need to remove every piece that's on top of them. I'm really not looking forward to taking parts off, but it's gotta happen. However, in the past, when I've tried to move things even a little bit, it's hard to take the parts apart. So I think I have come up with a design for a tool I can use to separate the pieces more easily. I'm not in this workshop much for this project, but it did seem the right place to go about doing this. So in pulling these apart, here's my general plan. This nifty little device is something that you can just buy in stores, and it's designed for any sort of construction lifting you have to do. Say you're hanging a door or something, you can just squeeze this and it's got a lot of power. I can stand on this and then lift by squeezing the handle over there. I'll just lift myself right off the ground. So it's got a lot of power to it, which is great. It's not the right shape though, so that's what I'm gonna be modifying. I'm gonna do an experiment first where I take 2 of these bars together and just grind at an angle so it's kind of chisel shaped. I'm gonna see how well those do at separating these blocks when they're pushed together. To the grinder. That will do. My little forklift tines are looking pretty good, but right now, while they are metal, they are soft, they are annealed, they are as bendy as this kind of metal can get. So I need to heat treat them, which means I'm going to heat them up to around 1500 degrees Fahrenheit and then plunge them into oil the same way I would if I were making knives, because I want the same effect. I want them to be springy rather than bendy. Okay, the parts are all heat treated. Now I just need to like clean it up. So it's just gonna be like high grit sanding and polishing so everything's nice and smooth before I start attaching them to this guy. So to start off, I'm going to cut out these little notches that I measured. Those should fit nicely onto the sides of my bracket, and then I'm gonna try welding it straight onto the bracket and see if that even works. All right, everything is on there, and you can see how it's supposed to work. So let's give this a try and see if I can't get somewhere with it. Initial separation, starting off all right. Good sign, good sign. And it does definitely lift on one side, the back side, more than the other as the tines are like bending, but it also worked. So I'm gonna call that a win, and I think we need some real world testing now on the actual set. Back to the castle. So now I have to find out if this thing actually works the way I'm hoping it will. Start by separating it just a little bit. Good, good, good. Okay, that's a little bit of separation. Gotta get the other side of it too, of course. Ooh, that's a good sign. Wall pieces are tricky. All right, so that still takes some serious finagling, but it did come off. I don't think anything broke, and that's a great start. Great. As always, a huge thank you shout out to all of our supporters on Patreon. Now, if you haven't checked out the Patreon yet, you really should. I do post a good amount of extra content from the castle build project on the Patreon. And I have some content that's just for paid members, but I have quite a bit that's for everyone, including the free tier. So if you can't get enough of this project, you should head over to my Patreon and join. And if you feel like joining as a paid supporter, that would mean the world to me because it really helps me continue to do awesome projects like this one. Oh, my big heavy platforms. Let's go. Let's try and put you in place. Oh dear. Okay. Yep. This is good. This is good. Oh, I'm surprised the weight of it doesn't push itself down. Oh, it almost does. I was gonna say I'm surprised it doesn't like push itself down onto the pegs. And as I said that, it started falling down onto the pegs. As you may recall, the new reinforced plates have these cross beams that go across, which means there's a full square going all the way around. And that's in contrast to what there was before. The nice lightweight version that's hollow, and especially on the whole grid ones, like it's just hollow everywhere, which means there's just these little single points of contact on all four sides, and those are easier to get to line up on the studs than the new reinforced version is. So it's taking a bit more finagling to get it into space, but it is going. I think it will be really good. It's just a little slower. Oh, I do hope I never have to take this off. It's gonna be a tight fit. Someday I do hope to take this apart and move it somewhere else or sell it or both. And not looking forward to that. Good thing I have the separator. Ha ha! This is so loud. So I'm confident to stand on it here because I got wall, like bad name, because these are wall panels, but like I have a stack of bricks right under this spot. The whole panel, I now believe, is way stronger than it was. However, on several parts of it, it's only supported on these lips that stick out from the walls, which are not the most reinforced thing I've built. So I'm going to climb up on the part that I know is safe, and I'm gonna see how safe I feel standing on some other parts of it. All right, so this is with my weight in a spot that I trust a lot because it's got bricks all the way under. Hey, not bad. Now, fortunately, I don't have any really large gaps to span anywhere. So it's got support from kind of all angles. I'm still nervous stepping right here. That's like the least supported spot. But being up on this platform, I do think that it's something that can well hold my weight and like, it doesn't feel like it's bouncing. It's not creaking. That is, oh, that's so much nicer. Whew, yes. Ha ha ha. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, I made it alive. In my last video, I announced that people on my Discord could submit names for what this horse should be called. And I'm going to say that Discord user Silicide had my favorite name, which was Phil, short for filament. That is spelled with a PH, by the way, both Phil and filament. So his proper given name is Filament, but we call him Phil. Congratulations, Silicide, you had my favorite name for the horse. I do plan to have like at least one more horse, maybe several more, and those will need names as well. So it's not all over. If you still want to contribute to what things around this castle are going to be called, make sure you're on the Discord. It's looking good. It's sturdy. Oh, I'm so happy how sturdy that turned out. Oh, good to have a tower completed. Well, technically it still needs some more of the bumps on the floor, but you can't see those, so I'm gonna count it as completed for now. Gerald and I wanted to let you know about niftystuff.com. That's NFTI stuff.com. And on the site, you can buy a couple things related to this project. For one thing, you can get your name printed on a brick. We've got a few varieties of that. We've got floor pieces and wall pieces, and you can get by yourself or with a group. There's a lot of different options, as well as some of the digital files for the pieces that I'm printing. Now, I don't have all of the digital files up available yet. I do have like a starter kit of some of the bricks and the plates, which, you know, you can do quite a lot with those. I will be adding to that in the future, so keep an eye on it. So that's how far the castle is getting in this video. I gotta admit, it is a little difficult to put out a video when I don't feel like I've made as much like changing progress as I ideally wish I would have, but I do think that the things that I had to do, including taking steps backwards, were important for the project moving forwards. I think it's going to be a better project. It's going to be a more useful and accessible thing. Like the fact that I can be up on this platform is a change that wouldn't have happened unless I had taken these steps. So lesson for myself that, you know, to do a project right, sometimes it's going to involve undoing some stuff you've done. I don't even want to say wrong, but I am going to say suboptimally, definitely suboptimal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.